Okay, we're working on number 22. Basically, if you have the figure before you, it is a cube, and I've also kind of drawn one here. Over one more. Okay, so for volume for a cube, there's a couple different equations you can use. You can use either e cubed or area of the base times height. They're basically the same thing, so either one will work. Okay, so for our given information, they just tell us this diagonal that's cutting through our cube to be 6 feet, and we don't know any other information. So we need to find our edges, these lines here, okay? So I set them up as E. You can call them whatever you want, it doesn't matter. All right, so we have a couple different right triangles that are formed here. You can see we have almost like this flag that's coming through the center of our cube, but we don't know this diagonal here because these two distances would not be the same. So we have to kind of set up an equation that'll get us this diagonal so that we can get this. Okay, so what we can do is using this triangle right here, this would be a 45, 45, 90. Here's your 90, and then these angles here would be 45. So if you remember your special triangles with 45, 45, 90s, the legs are x, and then your hypotenuse is x root 2, okay? So that was from like kind of a long time ago. So I've just basically forced it into what we're doing with E. So we have E, and E root 2, okay? So that gives us a value for this right here as E root 2, or at least an expression that we can use, okay? Now, this height right here is going to be represented by E. So now we have, another right triangle. So let's plug this in. We'd have E squared from this leg. Here's our right angle. This other leg is going to be E root 2, and that all is going to be squared. That's going to equal our hypotenuse, which is 6. We have to square that, okay? So let's work through this Pythagorean theorem. E squared plus, we're still going to have E squared here, and then root 2 times root 2 would give us 2. So we can kind of put this right in here, just so it looks like how Mrs. McGee would want it to. No, that's the right way to do it. Okay, and then 6 squared would be 36. Okay, combine like terms, we'd have how many E squareds? 3E squared equals 36. We can divide by 3. E squared equals what, 12? Thanks. And then E equals, let's root that, 3.46. Yay. Okay, so this is our edge. So now put it back into the formula. So trying to think of if we didn't do the decimal, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so when you put that back in, V equals 3.46 cubed. That gives you 41.47. And those of you that want to go this route, which honestly is more the correct answer, so 12 rooted, so that's 4 times 3, so that would be 2 root 3 when you bring that out of the radical. And then we are cubing that, okay, because volume equals your edge cubed. Let's do this correctly. Volume equals 2 root 3 cubed, okay? So then what we have going on here is we have 2 3 times, so that would be 8. And then we have our root 3 3 times. So we have root 3 times root 3 times root 3, okay? So that would be, this would be root 9. So then it would be 3 root 3. Okay, and then we can multiply these together and get 24 root 3. And make sure our label for both of these is feet, I believe, cubed. Feet cubed. All right. I don't know where my answer key is, but I hope that's right. 22.